Alright, what's up guys, Luthier here, and today we have another SPL game. Now, this time, I was actually trying to record this live, and like commentate over it after, but the problem was apparently I forgot to click record. So here we are. I'm gonna just describe the game going in, but before that, I want to describe my team and then what I was thinking in the team builder. So I don't have Sacri's like scout pulled up, but these are all the teams that I built this week specifically for Sacri. I've been trying to make Kurim work, but Kurim is so ridiculously hard to work with. It is just annoying, and it just makes it impossible because in terms of defensive utility, it provides next to nothing. I guess you do have like speed control and whatnot, but like other than that, it doesn't really do much for you. So I don't know. It was really hard to build with, and you see I made like 15. Okay, I probably can't count. It's like around like 10, 12 teams, and I ended up going with the top one here. So let me describe it real quick. So the spread I'm using on the Kurim is basically 310 speed Kurim, and now that's going to be able to outspeed Adamant Landorus. And I was having a lot of problems with Landorus actually in my team. I was playing a couple of my friends from Midwest in test, and Adamant Landorus kind of gave me some problems. Obviously I do have an unaware clef, but you know, it can get knocked and it can get pressured and stuff like that. So I made my Kurim 310. Originally I actually had it at 282 for Adamant Landorus, and then I said screw it, whatever, and just like kept it there. And then I made it 297 to outspeed Nidoking, and then but I did have I do have spit off hippo, but anyways, I did to outspeed Nidoking, and then eventually I was just like, you know what, let me just go and put the rest into speed and make sure I'm able to outspeed everything I really need to outspeed. So that was my reason for bringing Kurim. And okay, so the rest of the spread is basically have enough HP so that I hit 404 HP, which makes me make a 101 HP subs. That means I beat Blissey 1v1 or I pressure stall it. Enough Spadef so I live in Earth Power from Heatran behind a sub. And then just a bit of defense and like a bit of special attack. So that's basically what I was going with for this Kurim spread. And the rest of it is just like a really bulky team. I really wanted to bring this Pex, or at least Bunker Pex, because Sacri had used Lele in a previous game, and I also want to be very solid versus Magearna. I was really scared of getting hit like into a Magearna and then not being able to deal with it that way, so I really wanted to use my Pex instead, or use this Pex, which allows me to scout any sort of like Scarf or whatever. So that's basically that, and it also helps me with like Specs Magearna and stuff like that, so I can know if I'm getting tricked into something and whatnot. So that's that. You got like standard Corv with Iron Head instead of U-turn. Over Brave Bird, I guess some people run that because it's nice versus Clefables and whatnot, because this team doesn't really pressure Clefable, especially if I like Thunder Wave it, because my main way of dealing with Clef is going to be Kurim, and I know that sounds a bit weird, but the way I deal with Clef is I have two modes, and I was discussing this with my team before I got into the game, but I have two modes. I can either pressure it in terms of dealing with an offensive Clef, which is basically going to be a Clefable with Life Orb and whatnot, and then I don't want to be fishing with obviously I can fish for freezes on the Clef, but just like guarantee that I'm okay with it. I'd rather just like T-Wave the Clef and then beat it down with Corv's Iron Head, which is why I also put a T-Wave on Hydreigon here as a last move, because if this set does go versus a Clefable, running with the T-Wave is really nice. And they got Boots Aroma Clef, which I think is stupidly busted in the tier. I do think that aromatherapy is actually ridiculous right now. Aromatherapy or whatever you call it, Heal Bell. I think those support moves are very, very solid. Then standard Spadef, Bunker Pex. This also helps me a lot versus Future Sight kind of stuff. So Sacri does have like 0 teleport users used, but you know, you can never be too safe. So running with that, and then Spadef Hippo, and then the core, which is whatever. So anyways, looking at preview, what I'm thinking is it's gonna be just like maybe like a Toxic Zeraora. And then because I actually started from the bottom when I was looking at his team, So whatever, I don't think it's a block Pex because he needs like actual defensive utility from Pex. So it's probably not a block Pex. Spikes Pharaoh with Leech Seed, and then Rocks Clefable, or it could be like Tricks or Trick Barbs or whatever with Combine possibly. Who knows? Clef just can run basically anything. So that's what I was thinking. It was gonna be like a Rocks Clef, Spikes Pharaoh, and then like an offensive Landorus, like maybe a Scarf Landorus or like an SD Landorus, standard Heatran, and then just Zero Aura. So I was not thinking too much from there. My way of winning the game, what I was thinking is probably just my Kyurem. Like, look at Kyurem and look how it goes in versus his team. Kyurem, PP Stalls, Ferrothorn, and not all of them really run Gyro Ball. As their last, they tend to usually run so they tend to run like Spikes, Knock, Leech, and then like Whip last, or like an Iron Head last. So that's what I was thinking from the Ferrothorn. And either way, I should PP stall it with my Kyurem, and worst case, I can just like knock it and start pressuring it that way. So that's what I was thinking about the Ferrothorn. And so my way of winning this game was going to be just my Kyurem. Like, Kyurem basically 6-0s him if I can get like a freeze or something on the Clef. So that was basically what I was thinking. And so in terms of that, or for that reason, I just lead off with Kyurem because Kyurem leads off basically against these four right here: Lando, Heatran, Pharaoh, and Toxpic. It leads well versus all of them. And if he leads Zera, then I can always just go into my Hippo. If he goes into his Clef, then I have like ways of dealing with it. So I do lead off with my Heatran. Okay, I'm going to restart this and turn off the music. Okay, there we go. So anyways, yeah, I lead off with my my Kyurem for that reason, which is whatever. And then I go into Hippo here because I don't want my boots getting knocked off. And that's why I thought about this for a bit, because if my boots get knocked off, then it becomes a little more cumbersome to switch into like Rocks and Spikes and stuff like that, which is not necessary. Something interesting that I did. Let me open my Calco. What? Yeah, so let me open this, and then what I was saying was Kyurem custom set. Kyurem custom set from a Zero Aura to a Zero Aura. Yeah, so basically at -1, it has just enough special attack somehow to knock out the Zero Aura, which is really nice. So that's what I was thinking about. So maybe I should stay in, go for it. But like realistically, it doesn't really accomplish much, because if he does Volt Switch, I'm in like a really weird position because I've got nothing out of the first turn, and he gets in like Clef or Ferrothorn, he gets up Spikes and stuff like that, and like it's not really necessary. So I go hard into Hippo. And just in case it's a Toxic, I just go for an Earthquake. Like, it's not a really big deal. You just might be weird and stay in. You just never know. So that's what I was thinking. That's why I went for Earthquake. And then I go into my Corv because I really want to keep up the Rocks. Oh, yeah. So this turn, he reveals that he's Stealth Rock on Ferrothorn. So I went to Corv because I just wanted to keep off any hazards, and like I can like keep stall him worst case, So he actually goes for a Stealth Rock. And what Stealth Rock means is that Heatran, Lando, and Clef, none of these are Stealth Rock. And then, he knocks me off or whatever. And then, he doesn't show it that turn. Anyways, so basically, this means that the Clef, the Lando, and the Heatran are all going to be, like, they could all be different sets. Like, different as in, they could all be something that I did not originally anticipate. So that's what I was thinking there, because it's revealed Rocks and Ferrothorn. Yeah. So from there, he goes into Clef. And what I think about is, yes, because this is Rocks, this is not Rocks. This Clef is not Rocks. So what that means is it could be, that Trick Barbs or whatever I was talking about. And my Clef, realistically, doesn't do anything. Well, it does do a lot in this game. It does check Lando, but my Clef should be able to beat like his Clef, or at least deal with it or Thunder Wave it, Plus, like, it's not like a super big deal if he does Trick Me Barbs. If I don't get Trick Barbs, it makes Lando a bit annoying, but that just means I get to play more. I had to play a bit more aggressive with my Kyurem, so that's what I was thinking there. And so that's why I go into Clef. It does reveal Thunder, and I do calc the damage, which reveals as Life Orb. And, I just soft boil here because I want to keep it healthy. And I go into my Pex because I know it's not block, and I can just sit on it. And also, because my timer was at like a minute or 2 minutes and a half at this point, I just sit around here, waste like a bunch of turns because I want to recover my timer. I also want to take a little time to think. But what I do also learn from this sequence is that he's actually not a knocked Pex. because if he was knockbacks, obviously he would have knocked off my Sledge like a long time ago. He gains nothing by hiding that, right? And so I'm probably thinking that it's Scald, Haze, Recover, probably Toxic last or something along those lines. Maybe T-Spikes, but he never laid up the T-Spikes, so I'm going to assume that it's not T-Spikes, right? So at this point, my timer is recovered. And I'm thinking, you know what, I can just go hard cure him. Absolute worst case, he scalds me, and he burns me, and then I can just go into like Clef and like Aroma after. It's not like a big deal at all. So that's what I was thinking. And also, I conditioned him basically to like click Haze like a bunch of times. He did use a couple scalds, but at a certain point he realized that I was just gonna be staying in, so he just started using Haze. So for that reason, I just, you know, it really wouldn't. I really did not see a world in which he actually just clicked Scald or Toxic or whatever. And, you know, again, worst case if he does, I do have Aroma. So at this point, I just go into my Cure Up and I throw up a sub. And I just fish for freezes on this Ferrothorn. And he goes and gets up rocks, which is fine. And then that damage reveals, what? It did reveal something. I forgot what it was. I think it revealed that it was full Fizz Def or something. Yeah, so it revealed that it's full Fizz Def. So basically I just learned about the spread, and also Life Orb, which was revealed earlier. And I was just gonna, you know, fish for freezes. And if I get a freeze, then I'm in a great spot. And if I don't get a freeze, you know, it's whatever. Because I can always go into my Clef. And so I just keep throwing off the freeze dries. Unfortunately, do not get a freeze here. And then, you know, I bring him down to like 52. And so I thought he might have like healed at this point. I go to my Clef because I wanted to like stop him from, you know, going out of control, and then maybe throw off Thunder Wave and then deal with it that way. But he's actually Bolt Beam on Clef, which is, I don't know. It's just a really weird set. Anyways, so let's do that. And I know he has to recover at this point, because he has really no way of dealing with my my Clef otherwise. My Kyurem. He needs us healthy to deal with the Kyurem. So that was that, and then I just throw off a Thunder Wave on his recover. So what this means is that my Corv is going to be able to check this the Clefable long term, because I have Iron Head. I couldn't do it before because he could have just fished for a Thunder Para and then gotten it, and then he would have beat me 1v1. But now that this is Para and he has no Aroma or Heal Bell on his team, which is something I noticed off the bat, that means I will be able to deal with it. Obviously, I can't go hard into Pex here because if he thunders me, I die. So I just fish for a couple of misses or whatnot. And, you know, worst case, what I can do is I can put him in a situation in which he's like below, at a very low amount of health. And what that means is I can go into like Pex after and then Haze, worst case, you know, it's not really a big deal. So I'm just, you know, throwing off Moonblast. He misses the first Thunder, he gets parried then, and then, you know, I'm just like, you know, maybe I can fish for another one. And I do get it, which I did not expect at all. But getting that was actually really, really nice, because now this Clefable, like being dead, gets my Hydreigon a bit of more leeway to, you know, I guess core break, if you can call it that. But yep, kind of lucky for us. But, you know, this philosophy that I have been preaching for like a while is just like, if you can fish, then fish. If you lose absolutely nothing by it, then you will always be the one to come out on top. And, you know, if you don't get it, then you are actually the unlucky one, mathematically. But either way, throw off a Moonblast, which is whatever, brings in his Pharaoh, and he decides to double the train, which is a very, very good double on his part. And I have, and then and then it reveals Balloon. And so normally where I would be able to check his Heatran with my Spadef Hippo, I can't do that anymore. So I have to go into my Hydreigon, and he throws off a Magma Storm. And I just go for the Roost because I want to keep myself healthy. And then if he's, you know, he's like toxic or something, I just have to Aroma it later. But no, he reveals that he's Flash Cannon, which is, so that means that he's like, Magma, Flash, Earth Power, and then I don't know his last, at least, at this point. So I was just thinking maybe he's like toxic. I don't know. Either way, I just have to keep my Hydreigon healthy because it does deal with this Heatran. It does have like a lot of bulk on it, so it should be, you know, beating the Heatran fine. And he stays in, throws off a Flash, I guess, fishing for a drop. And at this point, I'm thinking, you know what? If I just hit this with the T-Wave, then I just win with my Kyurem, or yeah, just something along those lines. However, what I should have also realized is that Draco was absurdly free for me. And I'm really, really dumb for not realizing this. But if I just pop the Balloon, I just, you know, I can win with my Kyurem and my Hippo at this point. The other thing is that now that he has Flash Cannon revealed on a Balloon, that means Kyurem can't immediately 6-0. I have to pop the Balloon first. So, anyways, yeah, he does catch me on the Thunder Wave, which is impressive to say the least. That I got the turn wrong. But yeah, so he does catch me there, and that means my Hydreigon has to stay low. He does knock me there, knock my Hippo, which doesn't really, I guess, accomplish much. And I get up rocks, because if I can get up rocks, I can start pressuring the Heatran at least from switching in and stuff like that. And he goes hard into his Lando. And what I'm thinking is it's going to be some sort of like sub SD variant, because why else would you go into hard Lando? Because I could just Toxic on Hippo, because all Hippos basically run Toxic anyways. I also couldn't stand on EQ, because if I do stand on EQ, then he wins with Zero Aura long term, and I can't afford to let that happen. So go hard to my Kyurem, maybe thinking he could like SD in front of it. You never know. I can't talk. They may make weird plays. Even if he EQs, I can always heal up my Kyurem the turn after, and I also live a Stone Edge at this range. So I go hard to my Kyurem, and he does go for a sub. Now basically reveals that he's for sure like sub SD. I go for a sub because I can fish for a dodge, and if I do dodge, then I'm in like a great position. So, it's whatever. I go for a Roost, goes for Earthquake, and then I go into my Corv, because Corv, realistically, it's really nice for keeping hazards off. But now that the Clefable is at the range it's at, it's basically outlived its purpose for the most part. And I don't mind hazards being up. Obviously, it does make Hippo a bit more of a weird switch into Zero Aura, because that means he can start pressuring with doubles. But I'd rather, do that than have to toss something out. So, I'd rather have Corv toss out than anything else. So, yep, I do go for the Iron Head, and I do calc it. And I can just show it. Where is it? Corviknight. Landorus. Where are you? Oh, yeah. Nope. Well, sure. Either way, so Iron Head is going to be able to break a sub from a 0 bulk Lando. So I just go for the Iron Head, and that's going to be how I deal with that. And then I pop it and just, I just go for Roost, whatever. And then on this turn specifically, I thought he would sub again. But, hindsight, I also did reveal all my moves, and so he doesn't have to fear U-turn. But the other thing is I did also calc that Stone Edge into Earthquake does not kill my Clefable, even from like a max attack Landorus. So that's basically what I was thinking. And so I go into my Clefable. Let's go for a Stone Edge. I guess he fishes for a crit here. Does not get one, which is really nice. And I just kill up my Clef, and now my Clef is going to be able to beat the Lando 1v1. Looking back, maybe it was better just to toss out Corv. But the other thing was, even if he does kill my Clef, like double EQ, which is really... I don't see him doing that, because I did also go into Corv, and I stayed in for a couple of turns. So I like to think that maybe he would like respect that he doesn't want his land to get low, and for that reason he would switch. So that was my reasoning for basically why I thought he would never Earthquake, because if I did Iron Head and chip him down, then he would be in like a troublesome position more than he already is. And so that's why I went to Clef and just, whatever. And I really don't think he would Earthquake there anyway. So I do heal up my Clef to full, and again, I do have Hydreigon as a guaranteed switch in for this. I do live Flash Cannon no matter what, even if it's modest. The only way it's bad if he gets like drops and stuff. So that's that. My Hydreigon does live CC at this range, but unfortunately Earth Power does not knock the 0 out, so I do double to my my Hippo, expecting something, expecting whatever. So I go to Corv. What was I saying? I just lost my train of thought. I doubled Hippo just because it's a check to 0. It's the only thing that really beats 0 long term. I don't want my boots getting knocked on my Clef, so I don't really go to that. So I do go into Corv, and he reveals that he's Spike. So it wasn't. I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, but he reveals that he's Spike. So he's dual hazards. He's non-leech. Which means that my Kyurem is definitely going to be able to PP sell this. And let me show you how much I take from body press. I don't really take that much because I do have like a bit of bulk, which means that Ferrothorn realistically cannot break me long term. So let me do that. Body press. Well, that's this, but he's like max defense bold. I remember calcing it from my the earthquake damage that I did like turn 1 onto Ferrothorn. So basically, that's gonna be a spread, and even then, he's not gonna be able to break my Kyurem because he can't even leech me. He can only knock me even on the turns I roost and I don't sub. So that's what I learned from that interaction, and I just like mess around and defog a bit. Doubles back into Ferrothorn. And I was thinking about going hard into Kyurem, but that's just a bad play. That's just like a dumb play. There's no reason for me to really make that play. So I just like, messing around with defogs. Crits body press, but I guess him wasting a body press is kind of nice. I also realized at this point that I'm hippo walls this. And the reason I go into hippo is because no matter what I do, he's going to be able to keep up either rocks or spikes, because I don't have that many defogs in comparison to his double hazards. And I'm only doing one defog per one hazard. And even if I get the turn, it's contingent on me getting all the turns right in order for me to be able to keep both hazards off the field. So that's what I was thinking, and I just go into hippo and I heal that up because I want to keep it healthy. And here, I should have just... Okay, at this point, I should have realized that he's going to make a play that covers Corv and Hippo. And that's obviously the Heatran. I feel like I should have gone back to Hydreigon on this turn. But either way, I just throw off a Toxic. Maybe, he never... maybe he just goes Lando or something along those lines. So, you never know, I guess. And that's what I was fishing for, because he did do that first time. So, that's the reason I went for the Toxic, even though Heatran was for sure the best play. Let's go for Flash Cannon and starts fishing. And at this point... I just go back to Hippo, and he goes for a knockoff. So he hasn't used CC once, and it really makes me think that he either doesn't have it or he doesn't want to punish me. And because I've gone to Hippo every single time, I'm starting conditioning him, I guess, to never really go for CC. I go back to Hydreigon here. And whatever. Obviously, I'm not defog, or else I would have clicked it. And at this point, I'm just like, okay, you haven't clicked CC. And even if you do click CC, you will be at -1, which means that Earth Power is like a roll. Obviously, it's not, well, not obviously, but it's not in my favor. But if I do get the roll, I basically win in the spot. And, worst case, if you do click CC, I can always recover this up later. It's not like too big of a deal. It recovers up on like Pex, and stuff like that. And if it gets like a low roll, and that means I have a chance of living Flash Cannon, but not a risk necessary. Either way, I just go for the Earth Power, and if he just stays in and goes for CC, then I'm in a great position. I go for Earth Power there, because I didn't want to miss Draco, but he goes into Heatran, which is whatever. And now I'm thinking at this point that there's no way that you let me double to Corv and then let me double the Corv and then let me defog. So I was really thinking that he would go back to Zeraora, never risking Tran. But he did go Tran. I should have just clicked Draco, because Draco was basically my play. I didn't want to miss on the Zera, which is why I didn't click Draco, and that's why I clicked Earth Power. But looking back, I should have just clicked Draco again if I was just going to expect him to do that. Plus, if, worst case, then I do just get... Like worst case, if he does go for something like body press, then I do get to like PP solid a bit, and then I get in Kirim and whatnot. So that's what I was thinking there. And the other thing was on the previous turn. So on turn 87, we're gonna load. Anyways, on turn right here. So when he doubles into Heatran, which is whatever, I know that I really wanted to double to like Corv, I guess, to defog. But at the same time, Draco was so free for me, because I said previously, if I can just pop the balloon on the Heatran, then I'm in a great position. Because that means that my Hippo will be able to wall it like his entire team basically long term. So I just drop a Draco, because I should never go for a T-Wave there, because I could let the Zeraora heal, and then obviously I just end this with the another Draco, because I don't want him making some weird double to Heatran or something along those lines. So that's that. And then he goes into Lando. Now, at this point, my Kirim basically wins the game, because the Zeraora is the only thing that was faster than me in his entire team. And so I was like, even if you go for something like a Stone Edge, I can always go into my Kirim, and I can recover, and I can fish for misses and stuff like that. So it's not like a really big deal, and I can always keep my Heatran at full. And because I can always keep... not my Heatran, my Kirim. And because I can always keep my Kirim at full, what that means is that the Flash Cannon from the Heatran will not be able to knock out my Kirim. So I can pop it with the pop the balloon with the Freeze Dry, and then follow up with the Earth Power. So basically, that's why I was attempting. That's why I went for the Roost here, because it doesn't really matter to me. And so turns out I actually thought I might be faster too, because I do have like a bit of speed, but he's faster, which is whatever. And Unaware Clef is a free switch in, so that's that. And Hydreigon becomes free, and he goes for a taunt, and obviously I just go for the Draco, because I just want to pop the balloon at this point. And from there on, he reveals taunt last, but it doesn't matter, because Kirim is just going to be able to switch in, and because I don't care if he you know, because at this point I've realized that I just literally just 6-0 with Kiram at this point. I don't care if you knock me off because I don't need my boots again. So that's why I just stay in with Kiram, and then Kiram's gonna be able to wrap basically everything up from there. So yeah, really good game for this week. I do think I had a couple hiccups, and I could have played a bit better. Probably no, I definitely could have played better. I'm not going to say that I played the best, but I do think I did a really good job in terms of prep this week. I feel like I won this game more in the builder than in like the actual game, because I didn't make any insane plays or anything along those lines. So I feel like I did a great job with prep this week, and hopefully we can keep this momentum going. We are 3-3 now and finally back to positive, so that's really nice. But yeah, our team is down 2-4 at this point, so hopefully we do keep winning games, and we can probably hopefully make it the playoffs. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. Do let me know if you guys have any qualms with any like plays I made, and then I could like discuss it in the comments, I guess, or you can always hit me on my Discord. But anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time for next week of SPL. Peace.